what we gonna do? What's it gonna be?
I've always stayed true to myself.
Me too.
Above expectations.
That's interesting. I've always stayed true to myself too. I stay true to myself, and I try to keep myself true to the truth as much as possible, and as truth is made available to me, or it reveals itself to me. I don't front. I don't snitch. Never done those things. I made decisions. Ain't make a whole lot of mistakes. Though, in retrospect, I may not have made all the decisions the way I made them. Point of the matter. People live in boxes, but don't realize that 9 times out of 10, they fit somewhere in the same category as the box they've made for somebody else. So once you've made a box for somebody else, you've made your own coffin, because that's when everybody stops thinking. See, what the next generation should do is what the last generation did, and the generation before that did, and so on, so on, and so on. Ad infinitum. You build off of what was positive, and then you leave the shit that didn't work for them with them. One of the things that I'm noticing is that a lot of y'all are fronting and pretending like you know what's going on. A lot of people are pretending that they understand history, and what they are really doing is picking up cult data, grooming information to either take your money or something else valuable from you. It's not real history. It's sensationalized history. So when you hear people saying things like, oh, the Chinese people got their own community and they stick together, and the Mexicans stick together, and niggas don't stick together, and da, 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 that's fucking rhetorical bullshit. It's bullshit. For a couple reasons. One, people don't stick together the way that it looks from the outside. And if you look at those communities are there because of segregation. Because you have a Chinatown and these major cities, because when the Chinese people moved into the city during the segregated 1900s, they weren't allowed to live around white people. Same as with the Mexicans, just like with our people. Everybody was separated and segregated, and that segregation stayed mostly, some places even still now. And we think that that means that these communities have some type of unity as a result. But I bet you a Hispanic kid that just wants to go to school doesn't feel unified with the gang members in his community. I bet you there's young women who don't feel unity with abusers in their community, as they shouldn't. And that's where we looking for this unity, and it's like, do you want unity or do you want a shelter for when you do wrong? Because if you want a shelter for when you do wrong, you're not going to find that without money, no matter who you are. So if you think that's somebody's privilege, that privilege is not coming with race. The other thing that I find people disseminating some dumb information I see people disseminating nowadays, they say that black people were better off during the segregated South or during the segregation because then black people had their own businesses and then black people could do this and black people could do that. And that's dumb. That's not only dumb, but that's dumb and ignorant. And it's not just because I sound like this, because I know a lot of people down south like to use their own cult rhetoric, where they say things like, in other places as well, where they say things like, oh, you don't know because it was all good up north. As if to say that I don't know that I can't read a history book or watch documentaries or just use my logic and say, if it was all good, how the fuck did we end up marching and getting run over by dogs and cars and dumb shit to end it? Why would we do that? That doesn't make sense. So then, because that doesn't make sense, then dumb motherfuckers have come up with, oh, we got tricked. We got tricked into that. No. People fought in court. The NAACP, which everybody calls sellouts that sold out Marcus Garvey, who never did shit for black people, but take. But when the Brown Board of Education, or the separate but equal case ended, one of the conclusions that they made was that separate systems are inherently unequal. And that's why we have desegregation. Nobody tricked black people into getting desegregated because they just knew that we would continue to be second-class citizens. No. What happened was, along with that determination, then a whole bunch of welfare programs got rolled out, which ended up causing more harm than good. We'll say it nice. But here's the thing. The party that you all are trying to run with to stop white supremacy that you see got white men on horses chasing black people down with whips on the border, just like the KKK or slave masters did. I'm not surprised. Maybe you are. But hey, I didn't vote for them. I didn't advocate for him, nor did I start trying to denigrate the other guy and didn't say shit about them. That's not the disease I got. Some of y'all got that disease, though. But anyway, so when you look at the results, here's the results. That then politicians came in, mostly the people who were your friends, and started shifting minimum wage laws. So then if you had a business, then maybe you couldn't afford to employ people because of the minimum wage laws and the requirements and the different workers' compensation requirements and different things like that. This is how these businesses fell down. Lack of education. There's people who are running around here still functionally illiterate. Not just lazy like me, but really functionally illiterate. Like when they try to read, they can't. So, and these are people who are going to universities and graduating and waving their degree in your face. Because the degree makes them feel good. Because everything's about how you feel. Fuck how you feel, America. Black America. Fuck your feelings. Because your feelings got you fucked up. Your feelings got your children chasing behind pedophiles. And some of these adults, some of these very grown elders, so-called, are running behind a pedophile cult made by an insane man who's in prison trying to pretend he was set up because you think Marcus Garvey was set up, but that nigga wasn't set up either. These are things that feel good because when all the rabble-rousing and all the emotions settle down and you deal with what happened, now you have to make justifications for it instead of making logical plans and strategy based on reality. Y'all want to run around and act like you're going to have a government. Tell me the last time illiterate people got together and started government. Because none of y'all even want to read history long enough to actually know where the fuck you even come from. So explain that to me. Explain how a group of people who start reading the first chapter of a book, the first sentence of a goddamn post, or listening to a motherfucker, but they can't get past the trigger word. How did you study history long enough to know who the fuck you are? Stop it. Everybody's elder wasn't a scholar, and everybody's elder didn't know. So you can't come to me with what your elder told you as if it's supposed to mean something to me. So if you're going through life off of what granddaddy, your mama, or great-granddaddy told you, that's for you. Or the perspective of somebody who was a little kid. This is why we run around with little kid perspective of reality now, huh? Because we think that 8-year-olds operate mentally on the same capacity as adults and shit. Maybe that's half the problem why niggas like Polite and niggas like Malachi York chase children around. Because they think the same way. It's crazy, man. I watched the opening of this neo-conscious community, and what I see is a flashback of when the old conscious community started. Just new fake ideologies. So if that's what it's going to be, and we still got people running around waving a red, black, and green flag for Marcus Garvey and ignoring the fact that he was sitting down with the KKK for whatever motherfucking reason. Or ignore the fact that Elijah Muhammad was working out land deals with the KKK for whatever motherfucking reason. Because guess what? None of those things amounted to anything tangible for black people. Them niggas got some money though. So why should I consider them my elder because they got some money for them? And gave a bunch of scamming ass niggas the blueprint to take. Explain that to me. Why are they any different from Elvis? Because he not white? It's bullshit. Just tired of it. Tired of the bullshit. And I wonder, will my children get to have a functional community? Or will I continue to teach them just stick with each other? Because a lot of you niggas is sad. Because it'd be hard for y'all to let shit go. But for me, it's not. When the information that I had to the best of my ability and my research told me that eating meat was a bad thing, I stopped on a dime. And then, as I started to see that that's not working out for me, because I'm losing muscle, I'm getting weaker, my muscles are atrophying, then I change my diet again on a dime. No problem, no internal fucking struggle. And maybe that's what y'all go through. Y'all get married to shit you do. I just do shit. Led me to jail sometimes, but hey, I don't get stuck in cults. And then talk shit about other niggas in cults as if I'm not in one. When I talk shit, it comes from a genuine place. Because I would like to see black people really being able to be unified on real things. Not what you got, what you do, how you move. I would like to see a time when an opinion doesn't end a friendship, unless it's an opinion like Malachi York is innocent. I would like to see that, but I don't see that, and I don't see it coming. So, in closing, stay away from shit they don't teach in school, because they don't teach it in school for a fucking reason. And at this point, some of the shit they teach in school to capture these stupid motherfuckers' attention is dumb as fuck too. So learn how to read and write. Then you can find out real history and not just these narratives everybody trying to paint. Stop believing people. Believe in yourself. Believe in something better than you, but there's no one on earth who fits that bill. That's why people make up their gods. Peace.